There's nothing quite as satisfying as skipping OLL on a 3x3 solve. Ugh. But what if you could do that on every solve? Well, you can, and it's actually pretty intuitive. So before you get into this, of course this is only going to be for CFOP since OLL is a step of CFOP, so if you don't use that method, this probably won't be that helpful. Also, while this is a pretty intuitive method, there are a couple things we need to go over first, namely these 4 cases that you should know. So these are all pretty easy OLL skip cases. So I solve on green cross only, so I have that set up for all of these cubes, and so that just means that blue will be the last layer color. Anyway, one easy OLL skip case to know is if you have a pair like this for your last pair, and you have a 2x3 block and a 1x2 block like this, you can just put the pair in normally, and you'll skip OLL. Another important one is if you have your final pair like this, and you have almost a 2x3 block, but one corner is missing, and then you have this 1x3 bar here, you can insert this with an RU2 R', and you'll skip OLL. These two are a little bit more algorithm-based. For this one, you have a 2x3 block and no blocks on the front, so you're going to do a U', and then you'll insert it with R', FR, U, R, U', R', F'. And then you skip OLL. And finally, for this one, you have your last pair right here, and you have a 2x3 block with another corner right here, and these two will always just look like this, a 1x2 block. And you can insert this by doing a U, inserting this little block by doing a wide R', D', wide R, and then a U', and then inserting your pair by doing a wide R', D, wide R. And then you skip OLL. So now that you know those 4 cases, you can skip OLL on any solve you want. So let's get into it on a scramble. Alright, so since this OLL skip trick is pretty intuitive, I'm just going to do it on 5 different cubes, and hopefully you should be able to get the idea of how this method works. If it's a little bit tricky, I recommend just rewatching, maybe trying it out yourself, and don't be afraid to experiment with stuff, because this is pretty much a guess and check method, and it will always work eventually. Alright, so here we've got our pair like this, so I'm going to pair it up, and now we can start doing our edge orientation, like that maybe. And then, look at this, we know this case, we can do it on the left this time, so we'll do that. And boom, skipped OLL. All right, here's another one. So we've got our final pair here. We're gonna pair it up like that. And maybe we can do some fancy stuff on this side, maybe something like that, something like that, something like sledge, something like that. And look, we know this case, we can just put it in like that, and boom, skipped OLL. Alright, now our final pair is here this time, so I'm going to rotate, do this on the left. We can start by pairing it up like that. Now it's paired. We can start to do some sledges, things like that. Maybe something like that, perhaps. This isn't looking too good, so maybe we can do a sledge there. And yes, we know this case, we've got our 2x3 block, and no blocks here, so we can do this on the left. Boom, skipped OLL. Alright, next we've got this cube with these 2 pieces as our last pair, so I'm going to rotate and do this on the left, and we can pair it up like that, and now we can start to orient some edges, and just try to get our corners in a position that we know. Not quite there, might have to sledge, do some more stuff like this. Yes, and we know this case. It's our friend, U', and now we insert like that, and boom, skipped OLL. And finally, we've got this case where this is our final pair, so I'm going to pair it up, and we can mess around with our edges to sort of orient them. Maybe something like that. How about that? That looks pretty good. And now, this is a case that we also know, so we can do our little insert, move, uninsert, and boom, skipped OLL. I'm getting a lot of R-perms today. Alright, so that is how you skip OLL on every solve. This is a really easy method to learn and a really good method. It'll usually only take like maybe, 20 to 30 extra moves, which is definitely worth it for, the sort of OLL skips that you're going to get. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. April Fools.